No problem. And how is your festive season going?
Gitina, who are in the vehicle tracking industry, it's a interesting and challenging time. We call it a silly season because nobugebengu tends to go up ngalesikhathi.
Uqinisile ngoba ngoba festive season la eMzansi siyazi ukuthi it tends to get tricky. There's a lot of accidents going on. But jumping on the topic, before leaving ekhaya for the holidays, what safety measures must we make sure of?
Yeah, in the same way we recommend ukuthi people must check their cars, make sure imoto is serviced, make sure everything iyasebenza. The same is true for ikhaya lakho. So making sure that all doors are locked, any windows that open for the outside are also safely locked. And just checking if you are fortunate enough to have an electric fence, test your fence. If you are fortunate enough to have an alarm system, have your alarm systems
Set.
tested
Yes.
thoroughly to
Yes.
make sure ukuthi if anyone uyangena, at least you have a way of knowing, or your security company has a way of knowing.
And
But also
uqinisile.
something else encanyana is things like post. If a lot of post is piling up in your post box, it tells Otsotsi there's no one at home, and there may be an opportunity for them to get in and take something from your home.
Uqinisile. And I feel like in situations like this, we must also be very, very vigilant in who we tell when we are gone because you may never know ukuthi kungenzeka ini, while you're away for the holidays. But
Yeah,
yes,
so
uh,
yeah, kwesinye isikhathi, if you are lucky, you have a good neighborhood watch system. So you can also report to those groups or to a trusted neighbor, just to make sure ukuthi from time to time, ama lights endlini aba on, your post is not piling up, as I said, and just to keep a lookout for any suspicious activity.
uqinisile. Even in terms of nje small things like checking ukuthi the lawn is mowed and stuff like that, I do believe ukuthi leyo nto leyo iyasiza kakhulu futhi ngokuxosha igebengu because phela
100%.
you
Yeah.
see is. And also for when we arrive at our destination, how do we avoid becoming targets by the local thugs?
Yeah, so something as small as a number plate
Yeah.
can tell potential criminals, which the person may not be familiar with the area. From our crime stats, we tend to see, for example, people coming from other provinces. They park their car, not appreciating what someone is looking out for exactly that. So when you go into a new area, one of the important things is make sure Uguti, your vehicle's alarm system is working properly. But also another thing, a lot of us these days like to announce things on social media, on Facebook, to say
Yes.
this is where I now am. I'm traveling from place A to place B,
Yes.
and that can often be a giveaway. Go to, oh, okay, the person is away, or they've arrived, and here's a potential target for us.
Yeah, uqinisile nayo leyo nto leyo is a big problem. But I mean, let's be honest, sometimes kuyenzeka ukuthi nani balalele ekhaya mani hambile for festive or whenever during the year you do feel like posting because phela ngoba thina sithanda ukuthi sometimes you're a bit of a show off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey, at the end of the day it tends to be tricky because it's not always safe. So yeah, you have a good point there, Mr. Ngcobo. But also for ilotunjana for travelisha by road, how can they plan their journeys to improve safety?
Yeah, so when it comes to vehicles, other than the service part, there's always choosing the best time to travel. That's important these days, especially on some roads. Especially along the byways, there's things such as vehicle spiking, where they put either stones across the road or any sharp objects that can tear into your tire. So selecting the time when you travel is super important. The second thing that we'd recommend is that your vehicle has enough fuel, has enough emergency kits, and make sure that your tracking device is obviously in working order. We recommend that because there's tools like Share My Journey where you can let loved ones know you are on your way or how far you actually are.
So lento basically singasho ukuthi ifana nokuba having your live location on to people that you trust.
Exactly.
Oh, yes, no, I understand. And as well as, do you have any road safety tips for our listeners?
So make sure that you remain aware at all times. Statistically, we know a lot of accidents happen in the early hours of the morning. And usually that's associated with a lot of driver fatigue. Number two, make sure you take plenty of breaks. Stop at the a safe filling station, have a cup of coffee, relax a bit. Tired. These are important tips just to make sure that you can get to your destination safely.
Yes, and Qinisile, there's also another tip, I think could be great. If uhamba nabantu, if you're really fatigued or very tired, you can also ask one of the people that you are going with, yabo akdrivele aqhubeke ngendlela,
100%. Having more than one driver is always the more appropriate thing to do. But just make sure everyone has a license.
Yes,
the vehicle has got enough safety belts, and you can is always appropriate, because as you plan your trip, it allows you to know, okay, I'll drive the first 150 or first 200 kilometers, can take over until you arrive safely at your destination point.
I understand that. And finally, people who love to post about their holidays on social media, why are such habits risky? Which is going back to the question le ebesi kulum.
Yeah, the easiest thing to do these days is to tell people where you're going. A lot of us like to post, especially when we're going to beautiful destinations. This is where I now am. You even take photos of your vehicle, photos of your license plate. All of those can potentially place you at risk, because criminals are at the same place as we are. As we go shopping, there's criminals there as well. As we travel and as we post on social media, a lot of people get duped simply by people tracking them on social media and knowing the exact movements. Especially when you leave home, that tells them that this person is at least 3-4 hours away. We can do something at somebody's home. So social media can be incredibly dangerous.
I hope balaleli nizwile, you heard what you can do for this festive season, because it is very, very important. And ngiyabonga kakhulu Mr. Nkcobo for these brilliant tips, and I really hope our listeners benefit from them. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you, and may everyone enjoy the festive season ahead.
Now enjoy, Mr. Nkcobo. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Bye.